There is an epidemic in the dating world that nobody is talking about. And it's not that people can't find intimacy and connection. With social media, the internet, and dating sites, it is easier to find people than ever before. The problem is people are not willing to commit. There are so many situationships today. People are unable to get their partner to lock in and get in a serious relationship with them anymore. Back in the day, it was very easy. Are we boyfriend? Are we girlfriend? But now it's like, I like you, I want you, and I want to have sex with you, and I want to connect with you intimately, but I just don't want to have any labels on it. And this whole idea of no labels has caused a lot of people to become very frustrated with the dating market today. So what do you do if you're someone that is serious about a relationship, that wants to date somebody for the purpose of being a boyfriend or girlfriend, that wants to get engaged, that wants to get married, that wants a traditional family with kids, a house, and everything in between? Is it time for you to give up? Is it time for you to just throw in the towel? Well, I would say no. And I would say no because there is still hope for everybody out there that wants to have this. The biggest thing is you guys just don't really know how to play with the modern dating market. And in today's episode, I'm going to show you how. Welcome to my channel, guys. My name is Sumi, and if you haven't done so already, hit that bell notification to stay on top of all of our videos. Follow me on all major platforms. If you ever want one-on-one coaching from me, hit the link down below, and let's get into today's episode where I'm going to teach you how to get them to commit. First, I'm going to outline the landscape when it comes to dating. It's very different from what it used to be. Back in the day, men would marry a woman for sex and children, and women would marry a man for protection and provision. Okay, so let's just fundamentally understand the needs of both partners on a biological level, on a social level. And times have changed dramatically. Let's talk about men first, okay? So first and foremost, there has never been a time in today's world where men can have physical access to women the way that they do. It's absolutely unreal. A guy can go down to the bar at his local city, find a girl, talk to her, seduce her, say all the right things, take her back to his place, and hook up with her. One-night stands exist nowadays, and they're very, very normalized. I'm not here to shame anybody for having a one-night stand. I'm not here to say that you're a slut, you're a hoe, you're this, that, and third, but back in the day, this was never a thing. People had sex after marriage. And men, like I said before, get into a relationship for physical contact, for intimacy, for sex. So if the need for that is gone, then that cuts down a large population of men that are looking to get seriously married. There's a lot of guys out there in the world that can go out to sleep with women and have their fun and hook up with them whenever they want, and there's a lot of women that are completely okay with this. Remember feminism? Remember my body, my choice? I think it really started with the slut walk of 2015, which empowered women to do whatever they wanted with their bodies, especially have sex. Well, that worked very well for all the guys looking for hookups. Guys that were looking for just the casual hookup are like, yeah, for sure, that's awesome, that's amazing. More power to you. And now it's put a pressure on all the women that want to get serious relationships, because when you do that, you take a guy's availability away from the marketplace. And back in the day, it wasn't such a big deal because no women are going to hook up with you like that. But now it's available. So for those guys that just want an abundance of women and want to hook up, there's an option there. And I'll go even further with this, because now we have 41 types of contraception. So now that that's normalized, the idea of having sex before marriage, there's almost no risk. There's more education about practicing safe sex, but there's less of a stigma on no sex at all. I remember back in middle school, they were literally telling us that you cannot have sex. I remember my health teacher telling me, like, if you have sex, you will get an STD, and if you have sex and get an STD, you will eventually get sick, and so on and so forth. Now, if you look on pop culture and see all the female rappers and the guy rappers, they're talking about hooking up, sex, drugs, all the above. Our culture has gone down, and there's more of a stigma to just hook up with girls and not necessarily commit. There are men I know that are 35, 40, 45, 50, 60 even, that are still hooking up with girls, and they just don't believe in marriage anymore. They don't want to take the risk of plunging into a financial situation with a woman, which is the next part that I want to get into. Men are scared of getting divorced because there's a massive financial risk. And every single woman that gets into a marriage says, I don't want to get divorced. I'm not the type of woman that wants divorce, and I genuinely believe them. I don't think anybody gets married and says vows and spends $30,000 on a wedding just to break up with that person. I think it's not good for both parties. I think that it's terrible for the family, and I don't think women want to do it, and I don't think men want to do it either. But 80% of divorces are filed by women. 92% if they're college educated. The other side of that is only 6% for men. So women are now divorcing more than ever before. And that also affords them the right to gain certain financial access to a man's lifestyle, to his money, so on and so forth. And I think a lot of men are scared that 55% of marriages are ending in divorce, 17% of them are ending in separation, and only 7 to 8% of them are not divorcing, but they still are not happy. So that leaves about 20% of people that are actually happy with their marriage. It's very, very low. If I were to tell you that 80% of the time that you go into a restaurant, you're going to have a bad time, you probably wouldn't eat there to begin with. Don't you agree? So not only is there a financial risk of getting married and having children, but the need for you to get married, to have sex to a woman is absolutely gone. And I'll be completely honest with you, a lot of men are motivated sexually. The biggest thing that we do on a biological level is reproduce. So men are naturally incentivized to be in a relationship with a woman, first and foremost because they are attracted to her sexually. With the cultural stigma of one-night stands being okay, and women actually saying, I'd rather just hook up with the guy, and also volunteering that they don't want to get married, men are now not committing more than ever before. I'll hook up with you, but I ain't gonna date you. And that sucks for a lot of women that want a serious relationship and want to grow into a marriage. Now on the flip side, let's talk about the ladies. Women can now work and earn just as much money as a man. That's absolutely amazing. But that also has killed the need for women to need men. And you would think that that's really a good thing, because if women don't necessarily need men, then they're going to logically date the men that they want and they really connect with. But it's actually caused women to be more unhappy than ever before. The largest sector of people that are on antidepressants are single women over 40. But a lot of women in their 20s and 30s, if you ask them, are saying that they're independent, that they don't need a man. So remember, I said that women would marry for protection and provision, for security. And now that has essentially gone, women are now getting married later than ever before. The average age of marriage has gone up nearly 7 to 8 years. Back in the early 2000s, it used to be around the early 20s. Now it's going up to 30. And now for the first time ever, women are having children a lot later in life. 50.4% of women don't have kids. It's never been like this before. So there are more women over 30 that don't have kids than do. What is that telling you? That women are not pushing back the age where they need to get married. They are now enjoying their youth, spending their own money, living their own life, providing for themselves, and the need for them to get married has drastically dropped until they get to a point where they get a little bit older and their sexual agency is typically falling apart, that they want to get married. And a lot of women I coach personally, I can only speak from a personal experience on this, tell me that they made a mistake in their 20s, throwing them away. And a lot of women that I talk to after 30 say they wish they had gotten married at an earlier age. Women are fed a propaganda that they should be single, that they should have fun, they should just focus all their energy in their career. And there's nothing wrong with making money as a woman. There's nothing wrong with being able to take care of yourself. I think that you should. But women are now delaying marriage. They're delaying the need for a family. They don't necessarily take it as seriously until they get older. And this also causes a lot of guys in that bracket to not necessarily commit to those girls that are in their 30s, because when I talk to men that are in this bracket, they still want to date the girls that are in their early 20s. So the women that are willing to get married at an earlier age are now being selected by the guys that are a little bit older, that have that financial stability, that are still in the market to get married. Now, the one thing I'll also say about women not committing is that women have an insane amount of power today. Never before in history could a woman just post some nudes of herself and make millions of dollars. Now with OnlyFans and a lot of other online sites, women can do this. Never before in history can a woman get flown out into a different town by a celebrity or athlete. But with the power of social media and dating apps, women are able to do just that. Women now have more control of their own sexuality and can now weaponize and mobilize and really use their sexuality to earn tons of money. Remember the Cash Me Outside girl, Bad Baby? She earned $57 million over the last 3 years on OnlyFans. That has never been able to happen before. But because she went on Dr. Phil, became an internet meme, and then mobilized it, she is now able to make tons of money. That would have never happened before. That would have never been okay. So now women are encouraged to not commit, to use their sexuality. And the ego of a lot of younger women is, look, I don't need to do this because I'm going to be young and beautiful forever, because they have a massive abundance and a massive selection of men out there. Trust me, when I talk to a girl that has like 5,000 followers on Instagram, even though I have over 1 million, she still has just as many DMs as I do if she's an attractive girl. It's absolutely mind-blowing, because men are the ones DMing women. And when a ton of guys are DMing you every single day, naturally, I don't blame you. You're going to think that, okay, I have longevity, I have options. But that is very short-lived. And so it causes women to make the mistake of not committing early on. So now you have women that are not committing early on, and you have men that have chosen not to commit because they can now get sex from every woman out there just without being in a relationship, and they're scared of marriage. And you have a huge sector of the population that doesn't want to get into serious relationships. So what does a person that's serious about a relationship do? So here's where I'm going to go into the solution. And if you don't like hearing this, then you really need to listen to it. But this is some stuff that I don't see put out on the internet a lot. The first thing that you need to understand is that people are going to commit to people that they find irreplaceable. And the formula is slightly different for men and women. And this is going to be very generalized here. But if someone is going to give up all their options in the dating market and they're going to be with you, then they have to perceive you to be a very high level. Women, more than anything, have to perceive you as taller, stronger, better, more financially stable, a mentor, a guide, so on and so forth. And that's very difficult for a lot of guys because women are not making just the same amount of money as a man. They're able to take care of themselves without a man. So you have to be at such a high level, typically the top 10, 5% of guys, to be able to get a woman to submit. You've got to stop doing the 50-50 because you need to be able to show her, like, you can't live the standard of life that I'm going to provide, and that's why you should commit to me. Women, more than ever, are now going for the top percentile of men because they're earning more money and they don't see the need for an average guy. They want a guy that's going to provide them a spectacular lifestyle that they can't really achieve or they can't attain. And so that bracket, that 10%, is a very hot sector. Back in the day, it was more so he's a good guy and there's a couple guys in your town and you should marry him and he's going to provide you a good life. Now, if he's not doing this, that, and the third, I don't even want to get married. I don't even want to date a guy if he's not willing to do it. I'd rather be single. There are so many women that say this. Search the internet, you'll find a ton of examples. So for a guy, very simply, you have to be the top 10%. You have to really come with a lot to offer. And I don't just mean financially, I mean physically you got to be in shape, emotionally you got to be sharp, you've got to have your game, you've got to have resources. And so my advice to all the guys out there is get into mentorship programs. Get into programs where you can become better. Get into social groups where you're pushed to become a stronger individual. From 18 to 29, my advice to all the guys out there is to just focus on becoming the best man that you can become. And when you get to a certain level where you're in that top 10%, women will naturally approach you because women know how to find successful guys. Women can smell it off a guy. They can see it in your walk. They know when a guy's got things going on. So you've got to really be in that lifestyle to be able to attract women in. And then only are you going to be able to get women to submit, to listen to you, and to really cater towards you. Now, on the flip side, my advice for all the women out there that want men to commit is to be a wife from day one. There's a lot of propaganda out there on the internet where it's like, don't give him this. Don't be a maid for free. Don't cook for free. Don't clean for free. It's the worst advice out there. And I'm going to tell you why. Guys don't go out to meet a girl that they want to hook up with. Guys go out there looking for wives. And it's not that they're directly looking for wives. Sometimes they're really looking for sexual access, but they are in their hearts. I think every guy is looking for a woman where he can build a family with and he can really, really love. Guys love love. Guys are actually the bigger romantics out there. Because if a woman is technically dating a guy that's better than her, that's a mentor, that's a guy, that's a resource that she can look up to, guys are dating women that are weaker, shorter, not as smart, not as intelligent in a theoretical aspect, not as financially stable. So they are the ones that are the true romantics. And I think that's a very crude way to put it because I think women offer a ton of value outside of that. And that's actually what guys are attached to. Guys find the love, the chemistry, the emotions more valuable than the tangible technical aspects. But men want more. Men want love. Men want to be nurtured. Men want that real hard intimacy. And I'll tell you one thing. It's not that women don't want this. It's not that women don't want love at all. It's just that love is a secondary thing for a woman. As long as a man has his life together, he's financially stable, he's mentally stable, so on and so forth. If you're chasing a guy as a woman that doesn't have his life together, then something is emotionally imbalanced within you. You're chasing an idea of what it could be. You're chasing the potential of the relationship, or you're so addicted to the trauma of the relationship that you may need to talk to somebody to get out of that mindset. The biggest way to get a guy to commit is to make yourself completely irreplaceable. And there's a way to do this. And I'm going to tell you a story about how a woman can make herself irreplaceable. I had a woman that I dated a long time ago. And this girl was not someone I was genuinely attracted to 100%. I was in my phase where I was hooking up with girls and I was just, going around, and I had no intention of being with her. And I told her this very upfront. I'm like, hey, look, I really like you, but I'm not looking for a relationship and I just want to be really honest with you. And I did the right thing. I'm very proud of myself for doing this. But she came over one day and cleaned my place. She organized my closet. She walked my dog. She would do a lot of things for me. And I'm like, this is great. I don't have to commit to this girl. And, I can get all the benefits from it. And then she started upping it even more. She's like, hey, do you mind if I meal prep for you? I don't know if you like shrimp or salmon or steak or chicken, but I can make a bunch. It's a lot of money for me, but I would love to do it for you. And obviously it was a trap that she laid. She told me this later. I was like, yeah, that sounds amazing. I'll pay for it if you're a good cook, which she was a good cook. And she meal prepped for me. And after a couple months, I didn't even know where my keys were without her. I didn't know where anything was. I became so habituated to being attached to her. And I realized this girl makes my life easier. This girl makes everything so simple. And I had no choice in my mind but to commit to her because I saw the value that she brought. Now, here's the thing. If a guy doesn't appreciate this, if a guy's just taking this for granted, all you gotta do is pull away. All you gotta do is have a conversation with him and say, hey, look, I really appreciate you and respect you as a man. And, it's been 5 months, 6 months, and I have no clarity on where this relationship is going, and I don't want to force you to do something. I don't want to have a conversation of what are we, but I think I understand more than ever that you are not interested in me in that aspect. So out of respect to myself and out of respect to you, I think it's best that we just kind of part ways. I really enjoy my time with you. I learned a lot, and I'm just going to focus on myself, and I'm going to just become a better person for the next person that really comes in my life. This is the statement that you want to kind of give a guy, a double whammy. So he's missing out on the future you that's even better, that is already providing this, but now to a higher level, and he's losing all the organization and structure that he had in his life. And this is a very powerful move that I've taught a lot of women, and they have gotten guys to bend at the knee saying, I'm so sorry, I messed up. I didn't realize how much I loved you and how valuable you were to me. And that's where you can really ease into the relationship, and now you have control. People don't really appreciate what they have until it's gone. Have you ever heard that before? When you do this the right way and you show someone that you have so much value to offer, why would they not commit to you? Why? I'm being honest with you here. Commitment is not something that you can get from everyone until they're ready. So the next thing I want you to understand before you even start talking to someone, I want you to ask them the questions of, what is your purpose in life? What do you want your legacy to be? Is there a certain age where you want to settle down and get married? And if so, how many kids do you want to have? Ask them these questions very directly, because you want to get a yes from somebody. You want to get a this, that, and the third answer. So when I ask someone, what age do you really want to settle down? About 27. So 27 is a great age for you to settle down. Is that where you want to have kids? Maybe a few years after that. Okay, so 27, you want to have a marriage. And I ask that question over and over again. And I ask it about 5 to 7 times. That way they're saying, yes, 27, yes, 27, yes, 27. So that I know for sure that they mean this age. You need to get solid answers from people. You can't just go around and dance, especially in the initial phase of dating. So dating, first and foremost, is a numbers game. And in order for you to find the people that want to commit, you have to source it out properly. The first area of getting people to commit is not even trying to fight them, but it's finding people that are already in the mindset of potentially committing. Because there are individuals out there that are just not in the mindset of committing. Avoid those people. Ask these questions proactively to know what the foundation of the relationship and the conversation is going to be. From there, I want you to implement the strategies to become the best person that you can possibly be. The ultimate way that people are going to commit to you is if you have so much value as an individual. You need to be able to be on top of your physicality, your mindset, your finances. You need to have a good relationship with your family. You need to have a great social circle, so when people see you, they're like, man, you really know a lot of people. You're really an amazing person, and you're just fun to be around. You need to have attractive hobbies that show that you're passionate about life, and more than anything, you need to be willing to give. It's an investment. It's never free to date somebody. It's always a luxury. Whether you're a girl giving your time and energy to a guy, whether you're a guy giving your resources, your protection, your security to a woman. But the benefit is absolutely insane. And it only takes one person for you to find happiness for the rest of your life. I'm someone that believes in commitment. I'm someone that believes in the traditional family. And I'm still one of those people that root for all of you that want to be in relationships, that want to be in serious partnerships long term. I hope this video was helpful for you. If you guys have any questions, you can message me on social media. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your time here with me today. Until next time, guys, Sumi out.